गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Fine. So we are in the second mantra of the first khanda. First khanda, second mantra, that is shrotrasya shrotram, etc. The mantra is like this. We read the mantra and I briefly explained the word to word meaning of that mantra. The mantra is Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat Vachoha Vacham Sa U Pranasya Pranaha Chakshushas Chakshuratimuchya Dhiraha Pretyasmal Amruta Bhavanti. So I just explained it. The question is, what is the ear behind that eye? The thing was the question, the beginning, say first shloka, it put some questions. So these are the replies. The questions were about who is the say seer behind the eye, who is the listener behind the ear, and so on. So what is that shloka? Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. So keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. By whom desired and by whom willed and by whom ordered, all these instruments, say the instruments of cognition, they are going forward to their objects. So that was the question. So a reply has to be given. Okay, by this gentleman all these things are inspired. By this gentleman all these things are directed. So that should have been the question. That should have been the answer. But an answer is being given in a slightly different way. In the way that is what the answer is. Shrotrasya Shrotram. What you have asked is the ear behind the ear. Then Manaso Manaha, the mind behind the mind of the mind, or the mind behind the mind. Then Vachoha Vacham, the walk, the speech behind the speech. So initially when the Shrotrasya Shrotram, when you are referring to Shrotram, you are referring to all the sense organs, the 5 sense organs. Then Manasaha, Manas is only one. Then Vachoha Vacham, when you are referring to speech, you are referring to all the 5 motor organs. Motor organs are Karmendriya, as we call them. One is Jnanendriya and the other is Karmendriya. Jnanendriya means sense organs. Karmendriyas are motor organs. So you are referring to all the motor organs by Vachoha Vacham. Sau Pranasya Pranaha. So Prana of course is only one. So that is the Prana behind the Prana, or the Prana which is giving say that life to Prana. Then Chakshusas Chakshuhu. This is the eye of the eye. Then Atimuchya Dhiraha. Atimuchya is, that is having say given up the idea of ownership in them. Having given up the idea, or having rejected the idea that all these things are I. So giving up the idea that this sense is mine, this mind is mine, I am this mind, I am this senses, that is identification with the body-mind complex. So having rejected that identification with the body-mind complex, Dhiraha, who can do that? Dhiraha means only those wise people who can look inwards. In Vedanta, whenever the word comes, Dhiraha, Kaschid Dhiraha Pratyagatmana Vaikshat. So that is what Kathopanishad says. Kathopanishad says, rarely one wise man looks inwards. Kaschid Dhiraha Pratyagatmana Vaikshat Avrutta Chakshuhu Amrutatvam Icchan. That is what it says. So one who looks inward, one who looks into his own self, that is, what is the nature of my organs, what is the nature of my mind, only one who looks inwards, he will be able to know this Pratyagatma, that indwelling self. So the Dhiraha, Pretya asmat lokat, from this world, pretya, having departed. Of course, for pretya, there are two meanings suggested. In fact, Shankaracharya himself has suggested two meanings. In Padabhashya, he writes, pretya, that is, having renounced. That sense also is there. Then pretya means having departed. In Vakya Bhashya, he writes, having departed from this world. So in both senses it is okay. Pretya, having renounced. So the having renounced means you have totally relinquished all your bonds, you have totally cut off, you have totally shaken off all your bonds with the world. So that is pretya, asmat lokat, amruta bhavanti. So they realize that their own self is that immortal self. So the very realization itself is becoming. Here there is no question of becoming Amruta. The only realization that you are that immortal is becoming immortal. So that is the meaning here. Then we were just into the first line of this Bhashyam. That is Shrotrasya Shrotram, Shrunoti Anena iti Shrotram. That is the Shrotram. What is the meaning of Shrotram? That faculty by which you are getting that intelligence called listening. Listening is one type of intelligence. So that intelligence you are getting through this indriya. So it is, Shrotram does not refer to this this indriya golakam, as they call it. Indriya golakam is the external organ which is of no use. The external organ is only made of these five elements. Whereas the capacity to receive that that Shabda Jnanam, is from the Akasha Tanmatra. The Akasha Tanmatra, in the one of these introductory classes, I told you about the senses. Because each sense corresponds to one of the five bhutas. We know that there are five bhutas. That is Prithvi, Apaha, Tejaha, Vayu, Akasha. That is earth, water, fire, air and space. These are the five elements which Vedanta takes into consideration. So these five elements, they correspond to the five senses which we have. Prithvi, the earth, so this corresponds to the sense of smell. Then Jalam Jalam is water, corresponds to our sense of taste. Then Agni, that is fire, corresponds to our sense of sight. Then Vayu corresponds to our sense of touch. Then Akasha corresponds to the sense of speech, sense of Shabda, not speech, Shabda, that is listening, that faculty of listening. So these five elements, again I told you in the beginning, again we need not go into too much of details because that again it will take a long time. These five elements, as we say, they are in two levels. One is that pure level where they are not mixed up. That is, Akasha means pure 100% Akasha. Vayu means 100% Vayu. Tejas means 100% Tejas. So that is pure, that is what is called Tanmatra, that alone, the Akasha Bhutam alone. And then when they mix with one another, they form again these five gross elements as we see now. These five Tanmatras are the pure elements. They cannot be seen, but when they combined, then they can be seen. They can be seen by the senses. So this Shabda Tanmatra, this Shabda Grahanam, Shakti, that is the capacity for listening, is derived from the Sattvika Tanmatra of this Akasha. Sattvika Tanmatra of this Akasha Tanmatra. The Sattvika element of this Akasha Tanmatra. So this is a rather complicated structure. So this, I told you about these five elements in their unmixed form and mixed form. In the unmixed form also, we know that in all these things there is what is called Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. And then the Sattva Guna goes to the making of this sense organ. Sattva Guna of the unmixed element goes to the making of the sense organ. So Sattva Guna of Akasha Tanmatra goes to the making of a sense of hearing. Sattva Guna of Vayu Tanmatra goes to the making of sense of touch. Sattva Guna of Fire Tanmatra goes to the making of the sense of sight. So like that. So these but then all these five Tanmatras, they combinedly prepare the mind. They combinedly make the mind, because the mind is able to get know all these five sensory perceptions. So the mind is from the collective sattvika tanmatras of all these 5 elements. So that is what we have to remember. For greater details, of course, we can see some articles on what is called Panchikaranam. There is a book called Panchikaranam. So even if you Google search for that Panchikaranam, you will get all the details about how these say indriyas, that is the sense organs, are derived, how the mind is structured. So all these details are to be found in that book. So here Shabdasya Shravanam Prati Karanam. So this ear is only an instrument for receiving this knowledge called Shabda, knowledge of sound. Then Shabda Abhivyanjakam Shrotram. Shabda Abhivyanjakam is that which reveals, that which manifests. Abhivyanjanam is that which reveals, that which manifests. So this Indriyam means that sense organ is only an instrument which reveals the this knowledge of the Shabda or sound. So we stopped there, isn't it? Yes. So let us read further. Tasya Shrotram Saha Yaha Tvaya Prushtah Chakshushrotram Kavu Devo Yunakti Iti. Okay, Tasya Shrotram. So what you had asked is about the Shrotram of the Shrotram, the ear of the ear. So that is what you have asked. Is Saha Yaha Tvaya Prushtah. That which has been asked by you is that Chakshushrotram Kavu Devo Yunakti. When you asked, who is that Deva? Who is that divine thing? So Deva again is Dyotanatmaka. That is of the nature of intelligence. Dyotanatmaka. Deva actually means Dyotanatmaka. That which is of the nature of consciousness. So that is intelligence and consciousness are one and the same. That is, and in Sanskrit we call it Chit. So that Chaitanya Swarupa. What is that Chaitanyam which is behind that? That is what you asked. So what you are asking, the reply is Shrotrasya Shrotram. This particular entity, we have not yet come to the name. That name is that Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. That is nothing but supreme, the pure consciousness. That pure consciousness which gets reflected in all these antahkaranas, and then again which gets reflected in these indriyas, all these sense organs, etc. So that is what is responsible for all the cognitions which we think we are making. So we think that my mind is saying, my sense of touch is say knowing this, my sense of taste is knowing this, my eye is looking at it. So we identify ourselves with our sense organs and the mind, whereas Vedanta says that what you think as your mind is not your mind, what you think as your sense organ is not your sense organ. Your real self is totally different. Your real self is that of pure consciousness. That pure consciousness is getting reflected in this particular antahkarana, and also all these indriyas, and then they are receiving various sense impressions. So that is what Vedanta says. So we may wonder, if it is the same Chaitanya which is reflecting in all the people, suppose all the people say all over the world, then why are people thinking differently? I think in a particular way, you think in a particular way, somebody else reacts in a particular way. So different people react in different ways, and different people also perceive things in a different manner. Why? All people do not look at a thing in the same manner. People look at various things in different manners. Their own perceptions are different. Why? You just try to guess.
It's a combination of this.
That is because of the fact that each antahkarana is a peculiar combination of the sattva, rajas and tamoguna which are there in the prakriti. Each antahkarana again is made of different proportions in this sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna. This antahkarana is made of the sattva guna, rajoguna and tamoguna. These three basic gunas we have to see. We come across this in the 4th chapter of Gita, and again in the 12th chapter of Gita, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Not 12th, this is the 14th, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So there is a big, there is a fairly elaborate description there about in that Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, what these gunas are and all that. So these gunas, they constitute the antahkarana of each being, not only man, but all types of animals, insects, everything. All these things are made of these gunas only. And because of this fact, each antahkarana responds in a particular way. You like one thing, I may not like it. I may like something else and somebody else may not like it. and say I react in a very, very cool, calm manner. Somebody else may react in a rough, angry manner. So different types of reactions because of the constitution of this antahkarana or this internal organ. Antahkarana literally means, antaha means internal, karanam means organ. Antahkarana is internal organ. What is that internal organ? Which is that mind. So this antahkarana is only a reflecting medium. It is only a reflecting medium. And Vedanta Paribhasha, there is a book called Vedanta Paribhasha. That book says this antahkarana is a Atyacha Virala Taijasa Dravyam Manaha. So it is a very, very Taijasa Dravyam. It is supposed to be a very great, a very efficient reflecting medium. It is a very, very efficient reflecting medium. Why is this consciousness not reflected on a stone or some pen or something like that? This is we are calling it insentient because it is not a good reflecting medium for the consciousness. Whereas, and in the same body also, in the same body, my blood, bones, etc., they are not the reflecting medium, but only the mind. Because the mind is supposed to be such a delicate, such a very, say, significant reflecting medium. And that is why it is said to be derived from the Sattvika Amsha of these 5 Tanmatras. So that is the point here. So this is what is the consciousness is your real self, whereas this mind, etc., all these organs, etc., they are your assumed self. So this is the meaning of Vedanta. Meaning of Vedanta is what you call as I, that is a cumulative a sort of collection of experiences you had over a period of time, a collection of impressions which you have over a period of time, an identification called ego. All these factors, it is an assumed ego, whereas your real personality is that supreme self, that supreme consciousness that is untouched by all these things. So that is what we are leading to that. The Upanishad, this Bhashyam is leading to that. So I told you in advance only because you will be able to understand the logic better. Then next there is a small question here. Asau evam vishishtaha श्रोत्रादीनि नियुङ्क्ते इति वक्तव्ये ननु एतद् अननुरूपं प्रतिवचनं श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रमिति. So the questioner is asking a small doubt. Okay, I have asked for who is the God who is directing. Who is the God who is directing the prana? Who is the God who is directing the mind? Who is the God who is directing the say motor organs, etc. You should have said, okay, so and so is the God, so and so in this manner he has done it. But instead of saying that, you are only saying ear of the ear, eye of the eye. What is this circumlocution? So that is what he is asking. So asau means this particular one. Asau, this man, this particular one. Evam vishishtaha means who can be described in this manner. Vishesha is qualification, description. Vishesha is an adjective. Visheshanam is an adjective. Vishesha is a description. Evam vishishtaha means one who can be described like this, one who can be identified or denoted like this. Then such a person, Shrotradini niyunkte, such a person, he directs all these Shrotram, etc. Iti vaktavye, when you are supposed to say like that, iti vaktavye means when you ought to say like that, nanu yetad ananurupam prativachanam. This prativachanam means this reply, ananurupam, that is not in accordance with the question. You have put a question in a particular manner and the reply is in a totally different manner. So ananurupam, rupam is that form. Anurupam is in the same form. Ananurupam is not in the same form. That is something not in accordance with the question. So that is the meaning. Ananurupam prativachanam. Shrotrasya shrotramiti. You are saying it is ear of the ear, etc., etc. So then the Siddhanti says, Naisha doshaha tasya anyatha vishesha anavagamat. So na esha doshaha. So this is not something wrong. You don't find fault with this. Tasya anyatha vishesha anavagamat. Tasya means of that thing which you have asked. You have asked for something. So that something. Tasya means that something. In other words, Brahman. Brahman is not telling. That is what we are leading to. Tasya, of that entity called Brahman. Tasya Anyatha Vishesha Anavagamat. There is no other way of knowing this. There is no other way, there is no other indication. This is the only way. This is the only way. Anyatha Vishesha Anavagamat. There is no other indication of that particular thing about which you have asked. That is, the Supreme Brahman is there. Just let us try to understand it. Supreme Brahman means it is of the nature of Sat, Chit and Ananda. So the pure Sat, Chit and Ananda, that the Supreme Brahman, unless it is reflected in an Upadhi, so only in an Upadhi, what is called that, that so-called Sat is known, the so-called Chit, the intelligence is known only in an Upadhi, Ananda is known only in an Upadhi. Otherwise, if Upadhi were not to be there, it will, the pure Satchidananda will not be known. So, what we are having as Upadhi, what say our body-mind complex is an Upadhi. So, in this body-mind complex, you are eating something, suppose you are having an ice cream and enjoying or relishing that particular ice cream. So, the Ananda which you have is not the Ananda which is derived from that ice cream. What Vedanta says is the Ananda is not derived from that ice cream. It is Ananda which is there only, there in you only, which is getting manifested. That is, the same ice cream will not give happiness in the same manner always. If the same ice cream is capable of giving the same Ananda every time you eat, then you can say, okay, the ice cream, Ananda is there in the ice cream. Ananda or happiness is in the ice cream. But Ananda is not in the ice cream. Ananda is in you only. That is getting manifest in a particular time, in a particular fashion. So like that, the Ananda is manifested like that. Intelligence is manifested like that. Intelligence, you are cognizing something. So that is, that cognizance is because of not the Indriyas or the mind. It is because of the consciousness which is reflecting on the Antahkarana. So the Sat, the very fact that somebody is existing, is it shows that is the existence of the supreme existence only. Sat, Chidananda, these three are the common factors. Nama, Rupa, they change. So that is what in yesterday's class also we discussed. So the Sat, Chidananda are the common factors which pervade all beings all over the universe. Only this name and form they keep changing. So Tasya Anyatha Vishesha Anavagamat means you can't identify the pure Brahman. You can't look at it as an object because it is not an object of cognition. It is only manifest through something else. And it is only manifest through this, say, what we see in the world. So that is what we see as world. So let us read. Yadihi Shrotradi Vyapara Vyatirekena Swavyaparena Visishtaha Shrotradi Niyokta Avagamyeta Datradi Prayoktruvat Tad etat Tada idam Ananurupam Prativachanam Syat. So you are saying that the answer is something which is inappropriate, which is not in accordance with the question. This answer would have been not in accordance, would have been not in accordance with the question, as you are saying, if you were to find some other person, some person outside who is actually regulating all this. Like somebody having he is giving the example of somebody who is having a sickle in his hand and doing some activity. Somebody is having a sickle in his hand and he is free to do any activity. Various other instruments are there, and with all those instruments he is free to do any activity. But here you are not finding any such man. If you are able to find some such person, then I could definitely have said, okay, he is the person who is directing. But here in this case, there is nobody like that. Suppose there is an assemblage, there is a motor car or something like that. A motor car is an assemblage of so many parts. So in that motor car, unless you put some fuel or something like that, it will not function. Or there are so many instruments here, all these electronic gadgets are here. In all these electronic gadgets, what is required is electricity. So unless there is electricity, it will not function. So these are of course modern examples given by modern teachers. In olden days, Shankaracharya was giving the example of hot iron ball or hot water. So in fact here itself, in the Vakya Bhashya, he gives the example of hot water and hot iron ball. So in those days, of course, because electricity was not there. So anyway, the point is, so this electricity is there in all things, but then it is not seen. It is only manifested through all these, through the functioning of all these gadgets. So similarly, you see a silver screen, a cinema screen. Cinema screen is again another example given by all the modern teachers. So cinema screen, what do you see on the cinema screen? Only a brilliant light. Only a brilliant light in different types of pixels. So a group of pixels in a particular form make the heroine. A group of another group of pixels in another particular form make the hero, or in another group of pixels make a villain or a helicopter or something like that. So all these things, it is nothing but light only. Light, pixels in different forms. The density of the pixels is going to determine the image on that screen. But if you really see on the silver screen, there is nothing but light. So like that, light is there which is all pervading, whereas you are seeing various different forms. So these are the examples which we can see. But here, Shrotradi Vyapara Vyatiriktena. Shrotradi Vyapara Vyatiriktena means apart from the activity of Shrotram, etc. Apart from the activity of Shrotram, etc. Svavyaparena Vishishtaha. That is one who is independently having his own functions. Svavyaparena Vishishtaha. One who is having some functions independently on his own. Shrotradi Niyokta Avagamyeta. If we were to see somebody, if we were to see a Shrotradi Niyokta, somebody, if we were to see some director of Shrotram, etc., he is giving an example, Datradi Prayoktruvat. Datram actually means a sickle, any large cutting instrument. It is actually a sickle, Datram. Datradi Prayoktruvat. That is, Prayokta is one who uses Datra. That is one who is using a sickle. Suppose somebody is there in the field and he is trying to cut the crop or harvest something. So, Datradi Prayoktruvat, there is an independent person. There is an independent person sitting, and then he is directing all these instruments. He is handling all those instruments. So here you are not finding such a person. So that is why you cannot say the so and so is say directing. So if we were to see some such person having some independent personality, then what you say is okay. Then the answer would have been inappropriate. Answer would have been not in accordance with the question. But here it is not so. We are not finding anybody. We are not finding any independent character. Have you followed this? Yes. Because the sentence structure is slightly difficult. We have to only break the sentence and understand it. So here the point is, there is no independent person having independent functions. Only it is on the presence of that entity is only known through the Shrotra, through the ear, through the eye, through the prana, etc. So next line, Natviha Shrotradinam Prayokta Svavyapara Vishishtaha Lavitradivat Adhigamyate. Okay. Na tu iha. Iha means here. In the case of the say body-mind complex. Iha means in the case of this body-mind complex. We are now talking about the body-mind complex only. So in this case of body-mind complex, Shrotradinam Prayokta, you are not finding. Shrotradinam Prayokta, one who is directing, one who is say activating all these things. Then Swavyapara Vishishtaha, one who is having his own independent field of activity, one who is having his own independent functions. Swavyapara, Vyapara means activity. Swavyapara Vishishtaha means one who is denotable by one who is designated, one who can be designated or identified, having his own functions. So that such a person, Lavitradivat, Lavitram again is Datram. Datram and Lavitram are one and the same. Lavitram again means a sickle. Lavitradivat Adhigamyate. Adhigamyate means known. Natviha Adhigamyate means such a person is not known. Such a person is not seen. There is nobody, no independent personality who is directing all these things. Then Shrotradinam evatu. No, Shrotradinam eva.
Shrotradinam evatu.
Samhatanam Vyaparena. Alochana Sankalpa Adhyavasaya Lakshanena. Phalavasana Lingena.
फलावसानलिङ्गेन
अवगम्यते
अवगम्यते
अस्ति हि श्रोत्रादिभिः असंहतः
अस्ति हि श्रोत्रादिभिः असंहतः
यत् प्रयोजनप्रयुक्तः श्रोत्रादिकलापः
यत् प्रयोजनप्रयुक्तः श्रोत्रादिकलापः
गृहादिवत् इति.
गृहादिवत् इति.
Okay. Then here he is deriving a conclusion. So in the earlier statement he said there is no independent character like this. So now he is drawing a sort of corollary. What is that corollary? Shrotradinamevatu samhatanam vyaparena. So you are only seeing the activity of this assembly. Samhatanam. Samhata means assembled. Samhata means assembled. You know the word sanghata. Dehadi sanghata. Karyakarana sanghata. Sanghata means an assemblage. A sort of say an aggregate, an assemblage, a composite, you use any word. So this body mind complex is an assemblage. It is a sanghata. Samhata means all these indriyas are said to be assembled. Assembled is samhata, assemblage is sanghata. So Shrotradinamevatu samhatanam, of all these shrotra etc. Shrotra is ear etc. Ear, mind, say eye etc. etc. which are all assembled together due to their vyaparena, because of their activity only. What is their activity? Alochana, sankalpa, adhyavasaya lakshanena. Alochana means you can say thinking. Alochana, we say alochana. But otherwise you can also say lochanam means looking at. Lokru lochane. The English word look is very close to lokru. Lokyate iti lokaha. Lokru lochane. That is lochanam. That is looking at. That is perceiving things. Alochana. Properly perceiving. Completely perceiving a thing. Alochana. Sankalpa. Sankalpa again is, this is the activity of the mind level. Sankalpa means just you look at a thing and then you are not very sure about whether it is this or that. You are just making a sankalpa. Oh, this might be this. This might, okay, you see something there. Oh, this may be a sweet, or this may be something else, or this may be something else. So that is what is called sankalpa. Sankalpa in pujas, of course, there is a different meaning. Sankalpa, that's a different meaning. A sankalpa actually there is expectation. Mama sankalpa, mama upatta duritakshay dwara parameshwara prityartham etc. etc. That is the sankalpa. That is samyak kalpanam. Sankalpa there is a slightly different meaning. It gives a different meaning. But here when you are describing mind and its activity, sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha, when you say, that is you are just looking at a thing, something is getting registered in the mind, and then you have not decided as to what it is or what to do with that. So that is the stage which is called manaha. Of course, we are going to that also. Sankalpa, adhyavasaya. Adhyavasaya means deciding, decision. You look at a thing, or you have a particular thought, and then you have an assessment of that thought. You decide on a particular thing. So that is called adhyavasaya. Adhyavasaya lakshanena. So all these shrotra etc. etc. all these indriyas, they are getting lot of sensory perceptions. And then the mind is collating all that information, it is taking that information, recording that information, it is taking some decision, it is making an opinion on that information. So with all these things, phalavasana lingena. Phala avasana lingena. Lingam means indication. Lingam actually is indication. Phalavasana lingena means by the indication of phala avasana, phala nishpatti, that is phala prapti, that is the fructification of all the actions. You are doing some actions, so and those actions are yielding some fruit, giving some result. Fruit means not fruit, giving some result. So that fructification of all your actions, all your actions is giving some result, isn't it, finally? So that is what is called phalam. Phalam is knowledge. Phalam actually means knowledge. That information, knowledge here, we are not referring to Brahma Jnana. We are only referring to that information, Savishesha Jnanam. Not referring to Nirvishesha Jnanam, we are only referring to information or knowledge about an object. So that particular Jnanam is this phalam here. So phala avasanam means the very fact that some phalam is achieved. That achievement of phalam is phala avasanam. Fructification, you can use that word also. Fructification, the fructification is an indication. Phala avasana lingena means by the indication of that fructification of what all activity is being done by all these sense organs, Then what avagamyate? Avagamyate means it is derived as follows. It is known. Here you can also use the word derived, because by all these things it can be derived. It can be said so. Avagamyate means it is known. Avagama is known, knowing something. Avagati. Avagamyate. What is known? Astihi shrotradibihi asamhataha yat prayojana prayuktaha shrotradi kalapaha gruhadivat iti. So if you recall the mantra which we read in Kathopanishad we just recently completed, there we saw one mantra, Puram ekadasha dvaram ajasya avakra chetasaha anusthaya na shochati vimuktascha vimuchyate etadvai tat. So we read that mantra and then we read that huge bhashyam. So there, what did we see? This human body is something like a town or a city with 11 gates. Puram ekadasha dvaram ajasya avakra chetasaha. Of that unborn, immutable consciousness, avakra cheta, that unchanging, non-perishing consciousness. So that anushtaya, having realized that, na shochati, he overcomes grief. Vimuktascha vimuchyate. He was always vimukta. He was always a liberated person, but he was under the false impression that he was bound. Man is always bound. Man is born free, but everywhere bound in chains. Somebody said, one English philosopher, one French philosopher named Rousseau. So he made this famous statement, man is born free, but everywhere he is bound in chains. So like that, his ignorance is making him feel that he is bound in chains. And once that ignorance is gone, he is free. So once you do this, once you know that this Puram Ekadasha Dwaram, this is only a Puram, then Pura Adhisthata, the owner of that Puram, is something different. You are not connected with the Puram. So there is a long bhashyam which we read there. So the same words are being used here. So the same tone and same words are being used here. This is a sanghata. This is an assemblage. And there is a general principle that all these sanghatas are for somebody's purpose. Sankhya, you know the Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy, they say sanghatasya pararthatvat. Any sort of assemblage is something which has to be used by somebody. If there is a motor car, the motor car has to be used by you. Motor car is, it will not run on its own. Motor car is for the use of somebody. So all sanghatas are for somebody only. So this sanghata, sharirendriya sanghata, the adhisthata, the person who is supervising all the activity is that Supreme Chaitanya, which is reflecting on the consciousness, on the antahkarana and also on the indriyas, and then it is making all these things function. So that is what we saw in that thing also. The same point is shown here. Astihi shrotradibihi asamhataha. Samhata means assembled. Asamhata means unassembled, unconnected. Shrotradibihi asamhataha. He is not part of that sanghata. Sanghata is assemblage. Samhata is assembled. So asamhata means not assembled, not connected. So that is the meaning. Somebody who is untouched. Asangaha. Atma is asanga, isn't it? Atma, the consciousness, is something which is asanga. It is not, it cannot be confined. It is like space. Space, you put it in you take a part and then you say, you feel that you have confined that space. The moment the part is broken also, it is there. Even if part is not broken, it is there. You are only this is only an upadhi, which is just a sort of, it can at best be used to describe that this part is having some air in that. So that is all. Apart from that, there is nothing, you have not confined that space. So in consciousness is also like that. So this asamhataha shrotradibihi asamhataha, something which is unconnected, which is not part of the thing. Somebody like a house owner. There in Puram Ekadasha Dwaram, the example is that of a house owner. Then gruha yat prayojana prayuktaha shrotradi kalapaha yat prayojana prayuktaha yasya prayojana nimittam prayuktaha. That is, for that gentleman, all these shrotradi kalapa, not for that gentleman, because that gentleman also is not enjoying. He is only illuminating all this. Yat prayojana prayuktaha means, by that consciousness, all these things are impelled, all these things are put into action. Yat prayojana prayuktaha shrotradi kalapaha, the activity of shrotram, etc., etc. It is all because of that particular thing which is illuminating all this. Example is Gruhadivat. Just as you see in the case of a house. You see the case of a house, you build the house, you are not the house. You build the house is yours, and the house is used by you, but you are not the house, you are totally different. So like that, the real you is totally different. So that is the meaning here. The real you is something different, whereas this body is something like a house. The body is something like a house, as described in that earlier mantra, Puram Ekadasha Dwaram of Kathopanishad. Is this line clear?
Yes.
Should I read again? Astihi shrotradihi asamhataha yat prayojana prayuktaha shrotradikalapah gruhadivat. So we can derive that there is something else which is unconnected, which is not part of this assembly, and then which is impelling, which is influencing or illuminating all this mind and antahkarana. So that is the meaning. Samhatanam pararthatvat avagamyate श्रोत्रादीनां प्रयोक्ता तस्माद् अननुरूपमेव इदं प्रतिवचनं श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रम इत्यादि. Is there any difference there? It doesn't matter. Ityadikam and ityadi is okay. So, samhatanam pararthatvat. He is quoting that Sankhya line. Sanghatasya pararthatvat. There is a line there. That is samhata, any sort of assemblage has to be used by somebody else. Pararthatvat, because it has to be used by somebody else. Avagamyate, it is derived or it is known that Shrotradinam prayokta. There is somebody who is different. Somebody who is different and then who is behind all these things. That is a totally different one. Shrotradinam prayokta tasmat, therefore, anurupameva idam prativachanam. This particular prativachanam or reply is anurupameva. It is in accordance or it is proper. Actually, there is nothing improper or nothing inappropriate in this. This question, the answer is not inappropriate. This answer is very much appropriate, very much in consonance with the question. So that is what it means. Anurupameva idam prativachanam shrotrasya shrotram ityadi. Prayokta means one who puts it into action. Prayojanam, prayokta, one who puts it into action. Yokta, prayokta, yukti, niyoga, all those things. Niyoga is again directing a person. Prayokta, that is same thing. So, Shrotradinam prayokta, the director of all these things, there is something which is not part of this assemblage. So, that is what is the thing. So, the basic idea is there is something which is not part of this assemblage which is illuminating everything else. Then, next, kah punaratra padarthaha श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रमित्यादेः नहि अत्र श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रान्तरेण अर्थः यथा प्रकाशस्य प्रकाशान्तरेण. So there is a small question here. Okay, what you say is okay. Then how are the words to be understood? Shrotrasya shrotram, you say, that is ear of the ear. How is that to be understood? Kaha punaha, what then? Atra means in this context, padarthaha means padasya arthaha. What is the meaning of that word? Shrotrasya shrotram ityadehe. Shrotrasya shrotram, when we say padartha does not mean object, padartha means padasya arthaha. The meaning of that word. Shrotrasya shrotram ityadehe. That is shrotrasya shrotram, when you are saying, what is the meaning of that? Then he also says, Nahi atra shrotrasya shrotrantarena arthaha. So, one ear does not require another ear, just as one light does not require another light. So, the questioner, he is still presuming that shrotram itself is the light. The questioner here is still presuming that shrotram is capable of independently cognizing things, eye is capable of independently seeing things, the mind is capable of independently assessing things. So, he is still in that frame of mind. So, he is saying, Shrotrasya Shrotrantarena Artha Yatha Prakashasya Prakashantarena. The Shrotram also is Prakasha Swarupa. Shrotram itself is capable of, cognizing things, cognizing that Shabda, he is capable of getting that Shabda Jnana. Just as the eye is capable of getting that visual, say, knowledge, knowledge. Similarly, the Shrotram, ear, is also capable of getting that knowledge. Why it requires some other thing? One light does not require another light to illuminate. Suppose there is a light. This light does not require another light. Already there is light. So this Shrotram itself is intelligent. Why again this something else has to be done? So he is under that impression that Shrotram also is intelligent. So the answer is Shrotram is not intelligent, my dear. Shrotram is only a jada. Antahkaranam is jada. So Vedanta Siddhanta is Antahkaranam is jadam. Jadam is insentient. It is because of the consciousness of that Supreme Sakshi Chaitanya, as we call it. Because of that, this Antahkaranam is acting. So this Antahkaranam, in fact, if you see books like, say, Vidyaranya Muni's, say, Panchadashi, so this is something like a colored film. There are three different films. You put a color film, and then through that film, you focus light. When you send light, the light, of course, is colorless, or you can say white, whatever it is. This colorless light, when it goes through a red film, the light which is coming out is also red. You put a dark black color thing, the light which goes also is slightly dark in shade. If it is totally pure, say thing, the film, the light which comes out also is very pure. So these three things, this black, red, and say this white, they are also representing the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamoguna. So this mind, this Antahkarana, is like that film. And every Antahkarana is a mixture of this, all these three gunas. So there is nothing purely red, purely white, and purely black. So there is a mixture. There is a mixture of all these things in different Antahkaranas. Whereas this light which is falling is something which is totally untouched. It is the quality of this Antahkarana. This quality of this Antahkarana is reflected in our responses. In all our responses, in all our activities, what is say reflected is the quality of our own Antahkarana. When you are harsh to a particular fellow, the quality of your Antahkarana only is being reflected there. When you are kind to a person, the quality of your Antahkarana is reflected there. So this Antahkarana is a reflecting medium which is having its own Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna, and because of these gunas, our responses keep on changing. That is it. So, Kah Punartha Padartha, so this man asks, where is the need for one light to illuminate another light? So that is the thing. So the answer is, Naisha Doshaha, Ayamatra Padartha, Shrotram Tavat, Svavishaya Vyanjana Samartham Drushtam. Tattu Svavishaya Vyanjana Samarthyam Shrotrasya Chaitanye Hi Atma Jyotishi Chaitanye Hi Atma Jyotishi Nitye Asamhate Sarvantare Sati Bhavati Na Asati Iti. Okay. So here it says, this particular Shrotra is not an independent reflector. Not reflector, an independent source of knowledge. This is only a reflector. This Shrotram is deriving its light from something else, from some other source. So that is the general overall meaning. Let us see the word. Shrotram Tavat. Shrotram Tavat means this particular thing which you are talking about, this Shrotram which you are talking about, Shrotram Tavat. This Tavat is just usage. Tavat, Shrotram Tavat. So Aham Tavat. So this Tavat is generally used to say, okay, in order to explain this in that sense. Shrotram Tavat, this Shrotram which you are talking about, Svavishaya Vyanjana Samartham Drushtam. So you are thinking that this Svavishaya Vyanjana Samartham, you are thinking that this Shrotram is capable of revealing its in its field of activity, in its realm of activity, let us say, the realm of activity of the ear is all sounds. All sounds, they come into the realm of or the field of supervision of the ear, and all objects which can be seen, all these visible things, they are the realm of the eye. The temperature, etc., they are the realm of the skin. So like that. So each Indriya has its own field of action, its own sphere of action, its own realm of action, let us say. So Tava Svavishaya Vyanjana Samartham. So in its own field of activity, it is capable of revealing its object, the object which it can reveal. So that is what you are presuming. Drushtam means it is seen like that. That is a common knowledge. This is a common perception, but not in reality. That is what he is going to say. Ayamatra padartha shrotram tavat svavishaya vyanjana samartham drushtam. So this is a common knowledge. But tat means on the other hand, your perception is wrong. Svavishaya vyanjana samarthyam, tat vishaya vyanjana samarthyam, that ability to reveal say some object in its realm of activity, in its field of activity, is possible only when is that chaitanye hyatma jyotishi, chaitanye hi atma jyotishi. He means yasmat, because this chaitanyam atma jyoti, this atma jyoti, this is the light which is illuminating everything. This atma jyoti is one word which we discussed in the last class also. Atma jyoti is a term which frequently comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also. I told you about one Brahmanam called Jyotir Brahmanam. Kim Jyotirayam Purushaha. So Atma is this chit, what is the impelling, what is the force or what is the light which is giving, which is impelling all the senses and mind. So there again there is a big discussion. So you can just go through that Jyotir Brahmanam also. So this Atma Jyotishi. Atma Jyoti is that particular, that Chaitanya which is responsible for activating all these things. Then Atma Jyotishi Nitye Asamhate Sarvantare Sati. Nitya means that which is eternal, which cannot be say stopped now and then, which cannot be when the human being or when any being dies, it does not die. The Chaitanya does not die. Only the body falls off. This Chaitanyam or consciousness is something which is Nityam. Then Asamhata. Asamhata means unattached, unassembled. Then Sarvantara. Then again it is there indwelling in all. That is the thing which is say directing everything. Sarvantare Sati. Sati means only when it exists. Sarvantare Sati. It is called Sati Saptami. We have come across these expressions. Shrotrasya Chaitanye Atma Jyotishi Nitye Asamhate Sarvantare Sati. So whenever this Sati comes, in such usage, there is Sati Saptami it is called. Sati can be there in other tenses also. But here it is in Sati Saptami, Saptami Vibhakti. Sati bhavati na asati iti. So if it is not there, if that Chaitanya or if that Atma Jyoti were not to be there, a person would not be able to cognize. A person would not be able to see, a person would not be able to hear, a person would not be able to feel. So this is the meaning. So the basic idea is we should stop thinking that this is my this is my mind. Shrotradishu Atma Buddhi Tyaktavya. There is a small footnote by Anandagiri. Anandagiri, the commentator on Shankaracharya, he has written Shrotradishu Atma Buddhi Tyaktavya iti Bodhaha or something like that he has written. That is Atma Buddhi, that is identification with these sense organs and mind. You have to get out of that. You have to get out of that frame of mind. So that is what he says. So Shrotra is merely a sort of instrument. Shrotra is only an instrument to indicate the presence of that Atma Chaitanya. Just as the bulb is an instrument to indicate the presence of electricity, or a fan is an instrument to indicate the presence of electricity, or something else, an image on the screen is an indication to it's an instrument to indicate the presence of light. So like that, this activity of Shrotram etc., it is only an indication to Shrotram is an indication to indicate the presence of a higher thing called consciousness. So that is the overall meaning. Na asati iti. Is this line clear?
Yes.
Ataha Shrotrasya Shrotram ityadi upapadyate.
Shrotram ityadi
Upapadyate means it is appropriate. Upapatti, appropriation, not appropriation, it is say that is justification, it is justified. That is Shrotrasya Shrotram, that usage called ear of the ear is something which is very appropriate, it is very much justified. Then Tathacha Shrutyantarani Atmanaivayam Jyotisha Aste
Atmanaivayam Jyotisha आस्ते.
This is from Bruhadaranyaka. Then Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati.
तस्य भाषा सर्वमिदं विभाति.
This is from Kathopanishad, Shvetashvatara. It is in 3 Upanishads, it seems. Then Yena Suryas Tapati Tejaseddhaha
येन सूर्यस्तपति तेजसेद्धः
Ityadini. So there are so many shlokas, there are so many quotations which can be cited from all these Shrutis. Shruti means Upanishads. So from all these Upanishads there are so many lines. He is just quoting three lines. That is Atmanaiva Ayam. Atmana eva ayam. Atmana eva ayam Jyotisha aste. Ayam means this being. Atmana Jyotisha. That is because of the light of the Atman. Aste. Aste means exists. So this being is existing, or he is able to see things, he is able to perform his activities only by Atmana Jyotisha. Atmana Jyotisha, they are in Tritiya Vibhakti. This Ayam means this Ayam Purushaha. Atmana Jyotisha Aste. He is existing only because of this Atma Jyoti. That is, all his functions are only because of that Atma Jyoti, that light of that Atman. Then Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati. This shloka also, this mantra also is from Kathopanishad. We read that famous mantra. What is that mantra? Natatra Suryo Bhati na Chandratarakam Nema Vidyuto Bhanti Kutoyam Agnihi Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam Tat Yasya Bhasa Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati. So that is that mantra from that Kathopanishad. So that Kathopanishad mantra says, because of the light of that particular Tasya Bhasa. Bha means light. Light means, not whenever in Vedanta, whenever we get the word light, we should not refer to physical light. We should refer to consciousness, intelligence which illumines, which enables you to cognize. Light means that which enables you to cognize. Metaphorically, we also say, can you throw light on this? Suppose I say, I don't understand something and I ask you please throw light on this. You should not get a torch and put light on that. You have to explain it to me. So in that sense, so throwing light means that is explaining. So whenever we say light in Vedanta, it is illumination. It is not literal illumination. It refers to consciousness or intelligence. Tasya Bhasa, because of the illumination by that intelligence, Sarvamidam Vibhati, all these things are able to function in an intelligent manner. All these organs, all this mind, etc., they are able to function only because of that supreme consciousness. So that is what it says. Then, Yena Suryas Tapati Tejaseddhaha. Tejaseddhaha has to be split as Tejasa Iddhaha. Tejasa Iddhaha becomes Tejaseddhaha. Tejasa Iddhaha means by this Tejas, by this light or by this intelligence. Iddhaha. Iddhaha means ignited. Ignited or illuminated. The Suryaha Tapati. This Surya, he is shining only because of the light, because of this Tejas of that Supreme Brahman. So this is another line from Taittiriya Brahmanam. Ityadini. So many lines like that. Then he is also quoting a couple of lines from Gita. Yad Adityagatam Tejo Jagad Bhasayate Khilam Kshetram Kshetri Tatha Krutsnam Prakashayati Bharata Iti cha Gitasu. Is the time there? Just see. 1.5 minutes. We will see, finish this line. There is one more, the Gita, from Gita he is giving 2 sentences. Yat Adityagatam Tejaha Jagat Bhasayate Akhilam. This Tejaha, which is present in that Aditya, which is illuminating the whole world, because sun is supposed to be the person who is giving life to the whole universe. This whatever universe we see, the sun is supposed to be the source. Universe means we let us confine to planetary system or earth rather. So sun is the source of all the life on the earth, isn't it? So Jagat Bhasayate Akhilam. This Tejas which is there in the Aditya, that is what is illuminating all this world. Akhilam Jagat Bhasayate. Akhilam Jagat means the whole world. Bhasayate. It makes it shine. It makes it illumine. Then likewise, Kshetri, this is next line is Kshetram Kshetri Tatha Krutsnam Prakashayati Bharata. Bharata means, hey Bharata, this address. addressing Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, who Bharata means, oh you mighty one in that Bharata clan. That is Bharata Vamsha, isn't it? In that mighty Bharata Vamsha, you are born, O Bharata. That likewise, Kshetri, Krusnam Kshetram Prakashayati. The Anvaya is Kshetri. Kshetram and Kshetri, these are two things which we have to say properly understand. Maybe we will discuss in the next class, because Kshetra, Kshetragna Vibhaga Yoga is there in Gita. So that Gita, what Gita says about what is Kshetram and what is Kshetri, we will discuss in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.